So what in the world did Carvana just report? What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions, and I'm sure a lot of you guys saw this during the aftermarket hours. Carvana closed the day at $364 moments before it reported earnings, and at one point, it was down over 24%. Think about that. In just a matter of minutes, 1/4 of your value is wiped. Pretty insane, right? Again, it ended closing the overnight hours or the extended hours down 15% or 14.9%. So what exactly happened? What caused Carvana stock to sell off? Remember, we talked about this. Carvana was set to report earnings today after the bell. And when we look at Carvana and what it actually reported, it didn't report bad earnings, right? We've talked about Carvana before because of its history. Carvana has a history of it did very well during the 2021 post-pandemic rally. It peaked at highs of 375 and then crashed 98% and sold off to lows of $3.55. Again, it didn't go bankrupt, found its support at $4, and then from $4 per share, again, in a very impressive fashion, skyrocketed to highs of $486 per share, a 6,652% return. So again, Carvana is no stranger to crashing, but it's also no stranger to, pumping. So that really got me to ask the question because it was at a very critical point where people were beginning to entertain the idea of, hey, can Carvana be a good buy as it's an overall ascending uptrend channel on the technicals, but do the fundamentals align? Again, very glad that we stayed patient because now it's at another 15% discount, but is this the bottom or can the cheap get cheaper? When you look at what Carvana actually reported, they exceeded expectation. When you look at their revenue and when you look at the actual earnings per share, I wanted to pull it up for you guys here. So this is Investing Pro. This is the software that I use to analyze the different companies that I'm either investing or trading. And you guys could see that the earnings per share came in at a 280% surprise. Revenue came in at a 6.9% surprise based off of Wall Street expectation. And this earning report was released today. The thing that I do want to highlight is that even after the recent drawdown, so the thing that I want to point out is from highs of $486 to current lows, right? 37%. Well, that's not fair. Let me actually just go to where it closed the day on. It was down 26%. After a 26% retracement, it was still trading at a PE ratio of 81 times its earnings. Historically speaking, that's not a cheap PE ratio, right? P ratios when they're better deals are like in the 10 times or 20 times, maybe 30 times, definitely not 81. And to know that it's only at 81 times its earnings after a nearly 30% retracement, this shows that Carvana was trading at even a higher PE ratio, which means you're paying more of a premium to own the stock from what the company currently produces as a business to what it's currently valued at. Before it reported earnings and lost 15%, Carvana had a market cap of $78 billion. Again, very impressive, but it only produced $1.1 billion in net profit. Again, you're just simply paying a premium. But if you're okay with it, who am I to judge, right? But this is, I think, the really important part of when you decide as an investor or as a trader is, do you actually understand what you are buying? Because some people just often overlook that I'm just buying a stock. No, you are buying a business. And this business is supposed to generate revenue and net income. And based off of that, and also on top of, and taking into consideration its current market cap, are you getting a good deal or are you paying a premium? So again, we can pull up the Carvana Pro Research. And when you pull up the Pro Research, this is my favorite part of Investing Pro. You can see that it has revenue growth quarter after quarter after quarter. When you really take into consideration this accelerated growth that Carvana has been experiencing since like late 2023 to early 2024, that led to this huge uptick, you can see its revenue really began to bottom at the end of 2023 and really began to uptick in 2024 and 2025. So the thing that I wanted to highlight is, I wanted to highlight both sides, the pros and the cons in this video, because you have a very unique stock, a very unique company where it is growing at a very accelerated rate. Again, this is also from investing.com. You can see that this company did sell off due to the EBITDA miss. EBITDA of 511 million, missing the consensus estimate of 535 million. Remember, it just didn't wow Wall Street. But if you take into consideration the revenue, it came in at 5.6 billion, surpassing analyst expectation of 5.2 billion dollars, representing a 58% year-over-year growth. Think about that, year-over-year, 58%. The company sold 163,000 retail units during Q4 of 2025, a 43% uptick. With that being said, when you look at the overall growth of the 43% year over year and the overall 596,000 retail units that it sold in 2025, again, that is based off of that 43% year over year increase, year over year growth, generating total revenue of $20.3 billion. So the company has reported a full net income of only the 1.9 billion. So again, in my opinion, that can definitely be a little bit better. Looking ahead, when it comes down to its guidance, Carvana expects significant growth in both retail units sold and adjusted EBITDA in 2026, including sequential increases in both metrics for the first quarter, assuming stable market conditions. My thing with that is, I don't know if I buy that. Are we really expecting consumers to spend just as much as they've been spending in the past years buying vehicles? That is like, obviously Carvana is very aggressive in the way that they do things, and it's paid off to this point, right? My concern is, are they setting themselves up for failure like they did in 2021 that led to a 98% crash in 2022 to 2023? What ended up happening is, I remember moments before it led to this huge retracement, is Carvana began to really overspend. I'm not sure the exact company that they bought, but it was for billions of dollars. I think it might have been Manheim or something like that, where it's a huge auction company. Nonetheless, I mean, they are very aggressive in the way that they want to grow, but are they being too aggressive during an uncertain time, too leveraged at an extended level? Where if you look at the day chart, yeah, it looks like a possible dip buy opportunity. It's currently trading at 306. So once this chart updates to lows of 306, again, it's oversold enough that if you were to buy it at the lows of 306 and we were to see a full recovery, because maybe you are optimistic on the bull side of the market, you believe that 2026 will be one of the best years for the stock market. And if that's your thesis, I can see why you could support the case of going long on something like Carvana that offers a 58% recovery if markets thrive. But if, again, the opposite happens, and we begin to see a downturn, consumer spending goes down, sales year over year actually decline, are investors going to be able to justify paying a premium for a company that is no longer showing signs of growth? And that's what it really comes down to. When you pull it up and you see the decline that led in 2022, 2023, we saw quarter after quarter after quarter of sequential decline in revenue growth. So are we expected to experience the same? Because we know that once we begin to see that decline in Carvana's past, when revenue begins to drop, so does the stock price. And again, there is no right or wrong answer, as none of us can predict the future. But I think that this is why it's so important for investors and for traders to not just look at the chart and make a decision, especially when it comes down to investing, but to understand and have access to this information that lets you at least actually dig a little bit deeper to understand the companies that you're considering investing. I do want to remind you, again, you do not have to, but investing.com right now is having a huge flash sale, and it ends in just 14 hours. If you like the software that I just showed you, it's the Investing Pro software that you see me use all the time. Right now, you can get it for less than $9 a month. $8.95 is what it breaks down to. It's a very simple question to ask yourself. Is having access to this additional information to make better investment and trade decisions worth $9 a month? And if the answer is yes, it's the first link in the description down below. If you sign up within the next 14 hours, you can claim that huge discount. If not, again, it's fine. I just wanted you to be aware of the current sale that was going on for Investing Pro. On top of that, the thing that I want to highlight is tomorrow, Open Door is set to report earnings. Do not even get me started. But again, speculative stocks can continue to speculate, and you always have to give credit where it's due. Again, it's the whole GameStop movement. There's meme stocks out there. There's companies that trade at insane premiums, negative 13.9 times its earnings. It's a company that, again, loses $300 million a year, yet it wants to be valued at in the billions. It's not a new company. It's a company that's not even showing signs of new growth, not even under their new, CEO. If you look quarter after quarter, it's going to be very interesting tomorrow after the markets close to see if the pitch that their CEO has been making for the past few months, if they can continue to wow these investors while not actually supporting the case of growth when it comes down to revenue. That's what I'm excited to learn more about. Is the business actually growing, or was it just all a gimmick that led to a huge pump that is now beginning to turn around and look like a dump? If you guys haven't seen, Opendoor went from 70 cents per share to highs of $10 and now has lost over 50% of its value in just the past 4 to 5 months. It's at that critical range where, again, the bag holders that bought up here are down a significant amount and they're just praying for their break even. But also, there are a lot of short sellers that are waiting to see if it breaks that major support, and maybe tomorrow can be the day for them to get that confirmation as it heads back down to $1 or sub-dollar per share. Again, a company can want to do good. Every business wants to do good. The desire to want to do good is not special. Everyone wants to do good. What I want to focus on is the data, not opinions, but facts. Is this company growing, or is it all a hyped up gimmick? That's what we'll learn more tomorrow within Opendoor's earning report after the bell. Again, don't forget, Walmart is also set to report before the markets open, and those are for our value investors. So again, I hope that you guys enjoyed this little session. If you ever want to watch me trade live, it's the second link in the description down below. I trade live every single morning right at market open for our LPP team. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We have members that signed up back in 2018 that still get to watch me trade live every single day today. So again, whenever you're ready, second link down below. And don't forget, Investing Pro Sale. That's the first link in the description down below. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.